U.S. stocks extended their slump on Friday as lingering chaos related to a global technical outage caused by a software glitch added uncertainty to an already anxious market. The worldwide tech outage disrupted operations across multiple industries, including airlines, banking, and healthcare, after the glitch in the software of a cybersecurity firm. The Dow dropped 0.9%, the S&P 500 slipped 0.7, and the Nasdaq fell 0.8. On a weekly basis, both the Nasdaq and the S&P 500 logged their worst week since April, while the Dow rose after having reached a series of all-time closing highs earlier in the week. This comes as the first full week of earnings season comes to an end, with 14% of the companies in the S&P 500 having reported. 83% of those have beaten consensus, according to LSEG. Rob Hayworth, senior investment strategist with U.S. Bank Asset Management Group, said he thinks the market could suffer more in the next few weeks.
We're long-term a little more constructive, but near-term, I think we're seeing some of that retrenchment just because we're in earnings season. Earnings have actually been fairly solid when we think about that story. Not great, right? There's still some questions, but I think we're seeing an economy that's holding in, and we think the market will hold up. But in the short term, there could just be some profit taking as investors try and reposition for the news flow that's coming up in the next 2 weeks.
The Federal Reserve releases its latest decision on interest rates in the next 2 weeks, with financial markets not expecting a cut until the September meeting. Stocks on the move included Netflix, which declined 1.5% in choppy trading after the streaming giant cautioned third-quarter subscriber additions would be lower than a year earlier. An oil field services firm, SLB, formerly known as Schlumberger, rose 2% after posting a strong second-quarter profit.
A global tech failure hit operations across multiple industries on Friday. Flights were grounded, and systems in government, banking, healthcare, and more stopped working. Cybersecurity analyst Stefano Zanero explains what went wrong.
Well, this specific outage has been caused by a software platform called CrowdStrike, which is an agent for the protection of computers against intrusions, malware. So what we usually call antivirus, just the version of an antivirus that is installed in large enterprises.
CrowdStrike is a multi-billion-dollar US cybersecurity company with more than 20,000 subscribers worldwide. This was their tech support hotline on Friday.
Thank you for contacting CrowdStrike support. CrowdStrike is aware of reports of crashes on Windows hosts related to the Falcon sensor. Please monitor the status via the tech alert on our customer support portal.
The firm said its widely used Falcon sensor software caused Microsoft Windows to crash.
That screen is not normal.
This led Windows to display a blue screen, also dramatically known as the blue screen of death.
Most people would assume it's a problem with Microsoft's software, and so Microsoft is also helping its customers deal with the outage, even if it's not caused by Microsoft itself.
CrowdStrike CEO George Kurtz said on X the company had deployed a fix for the issue and added this is not a security incident or cyber attack. But it's not clear how easily the affected systems can be fixed remotely. That's because the blue screen of death causes computers to crash on reboots before they can be updated. Governments and businesses have become dependent on a handful of interconnected tech companies over the past 2 decades. Hacking is a major threat to global firms. To counter it, many use a cybersecurity product known as Endpoint Detection and Response, or EDR, which runs in the background of corporate machines or endpoints. Firms like CrowdStrike are able to use their EDR products to protect corporate networks. But in this case, something in CrowdStrike's code conflicted with the code that makes Windows work, and that caused systems to crash even after rebooting. US airlines, Spanish airports and Australian media and banks are just some of those hit by the issue. Matt Jordan is an airline passenger stranded in Minnesota by the outages.
We started kind of the boarding process for the second plane here, when we were deplaned and moved on to a different plane, all of the computer monitors were essentially shut down, blue screen of death type of Microsoft screen, that they had obviously lost communication with their servers and then shut down and kind of stayed in like a safe mode that wasn't allowing them to boot back up.
Governments have also felt the pain of the outages. While in the UK, one of its lead broadcasters, Sky News, was off air for hours before service came back.